Laiba was only seconds away from losing the biggest race of her life. And just that morning, she couldn't even ride her bike properly. The crowd around the park path was cheering loudly. A boy on a bicycle was racing ahead toward the finish line. Laiba was behind him, pedaling as fast as she could. The finish line was getting closer every second. "Come on, AP, you can do it," Halima shouted from the side of the track. Would Laiba catch him in time, or would she lose the race? To find out, we need to go back a few days. One afternoon, Laiba and Halima excitedly ran to their dad. "Dad, please can you take us cycling in the park this weekend?" asked Laiba. "Please, Dad," added Halima. Dad smiled. "Of course! I promise we'll go this weekend." The sisters were thrilled. Every day, they counted down the days until Saturday. They kept looking at the calendar and talking about all the fun they would have in the park. The wait felt forever. Finally, the weekend arrived. Both girls woke up early, full of excitement. After breakfast, Mom and Dad loaded the bikes into the car and headed to the park. The park was beautiful. Children were playing, birds were singing, and cyclists were riding along the winding paths. As soon as they arrived, Laiba looked at her bicycle thoughtfully. For years, she had ridden with stabilizer wheels. They helped her balance and made her feel safe. But today felt different. "Daddy," she said nervously, "can you take my stabilizers off?" Dad looked surprised. "Are you sure?" Laiba nodded. "I want to ride without them." Dad smiled proudly and carefully removed the stabilizer wheels. Suddenly, Laiba wasn't feeling quite so brave. What if she fell? What if she couldn't balance? She placed her feet on the pedals. Slowly, she pushed forward. Wobble, wobble, wobble. Halima watched closely. "You can do it, Api," she encouraged. Laiba focused on the path ahead. She kept pedaling. Then something amazing happened. The wobbling stopped. She was balancing. She was riding completely on her own. "I'm doing it," she shouted happily. Mom and Dad clapped. "Well done, Laiba," Dad said proudly. Laiba couldn't stop smiling. She rode around the path again and again, feeling more confident with every lap. Meanwhile, Halima happily rode her own bicycle with stabilizers still attached. She wasn't ready to remove them yet, and that was perfectly fine. Everyone learns at their own pace. The sisters spent the afternoon cycling together, laughing and enjoying the sunny day. Then suddenly, whoosh! A boy on a bicycle sped past them. The girls jumped in surprise. The boy turned around and stopped nearby. "You two look fast," he said with a grin. "Want to have a race?" Laiba's stomach flipped. A race? She had only just learned to ride, without stabilizers. What if she lost? "I don't know," she replied quietly. But Halima rode over to her sister. "Come on, Api. You can do it. I believe in you." Laiba looked at the boy waiting confidently at the starting point. Maybe Halima was right. Maybe she should try. Soon, a few children and parents gathered to watch. Mom and Dad stood nearby. The race was about to begin. Laiba's heart raced. 3, 2, 1, go! The cyclists shot forward. Immediately, the boy took the lead. He was incredibly fast. The crowd cheered. Laiba pedaled harder, but the gap between them seemed impossible to close. The finish line was getting closer. The boy was still ahead. Laiba started to doubt herself. Maybe she couldn't win. Then she heard a familiar voice. "Come on, AAPI," Halima shouted. "You can do it!" Laiba remembered how scared she had been earlier when the stabilizers were removed. She had faced that fear. Now she could face this challenge too. She leaned forward and pedaled harder than ever before. The gap started shrinking. The crowd became louder. The finish line was now only a short distance away. The boy was still leading. 10 meters left. 8 meters. 5 meters. 3 meters. The crowd gasped. Laiba was almost beside him. One final push. Laiba accelerated with all her strength. At the very last moment, she surged ahead. Laiba crossed the finish line first. The park erupted into cheers and applause. Everyone started clapping. Laiba could hardly believe it. She had won! Halima jumped off her bike and ran toward her sister. "You did it, AP! You beat him!" she shouted excitedly. The boy rode over and smiled. "Great race," he said. "You were amazing." Dad and Mom walked over proudly. Dad smiled at all three children. "That was a fantastic race," he said. "But remember, winning isn't everything." Mom nodded. "The most important thing is trying your best, having fun, and being kind to others." Then Dad looked at the boy. "Today Laiba won. Next time, you might win." The boy smiled. "I'll keep practicing." Everyone laughed. As the sun began to set, the family packed up their bikes and headed home. Laiba wasn't happiest because she had won the race. She was happiest because she had found the courage to try something new. That day, she learned that believing in yourself can help you achieve things you never thought were possible. And that was the biggest victory of all. The end. Moral: believe in yourself, be brave enough to try new things, and always be a good sport, whether you win or lose.